Good afternoon, everyone. If you're a senior marketing executive, I'm sure you might have been in a tricky conversation with your executive team about your marketing plans and costs associated with those plans for you to be able to move that needle in your organization. Now, apparently, if a firm did not have a good year and the top levels of organization decided that cost cutting or cutting expenses across the organization was the right path towards growth or improving revenues or improving profits, of course, the numero uno target for cutting costs has been and will always be, unfortunately, marketing. My name is Nirav Bhatia, and I head customer intelligence for SAS India. In my presentation today, I shall try and cover a few aspects which, in my experience, have worked for organizations large and small across industries to successfully transform their marketing functions from being a cost center to a value center. But before we go there, a quick intro on who we are. SAS has been serving customers across industries for over 4 decades now, and is one of the pioneers in analytics space globally. And over almost a decade long, we have an experience in the space of customer intelligence and marketing. Through our offerings and a lot of validations from industry experts, our customers, and some analyst reports, as you see here, across different categories under marketing, such as cross-channel campaigns, such as customer analytics, real-time interaction, etc., which establishes the vast experience SAS has in helping organizations achieve in their marketing transformation journeys. So moving on, as I said, marketing differs from all other cost centers because it is very intimately tied with what you do, what you sell, and most importantly, who your customers are and what they buy from. Marketing is and must be as strategic as everything else in the organization when you need to go to market. Now, thinking of marketing exclusively in terms of cost seems dangerously misguided. Now, this is what happens when marketing departments aren't geared enough to kind of deliver that measurable result and unable to tie those marketing activities into a revenue recognition and then kind of hold the fort during difficult times. A famous scholar once said, right, inside an organization, there are only cost centers. The only profit center is a customer whose check has not bounced, right? So it's a very tricky situation, which typically marketers find in their day-to-day life, where at one hand, they need to reach out to customers, run campaigns, execute the strategies. And on the other hand, they are always judged on how much budgets they're consuming, on the amount of expenses they incur towards an organization, right? So you should do it differently when it comes to strategy. There are many reasons why organizations fail in becoming that revenue generation center. Now, basically, based on my experience, at least I'll try and highlight a few, cases why I have seen organizations fail. Right? Now, marketing in many organizations is still too kind of campaign obsessed. Right? For many organizations, campaigns still largely mean outbound communications or pushed communications when the organization decides that the time is right, not when the customer's need is the greatest. Now, these regimented strategies really fail to kind of recognize when the individual customer has a specific need. Are you there in front of him when they can need you, right? This is where marketing needs to transform really, really drastically, especially in this colonial era, as I call it, where, all these past marketing strategies needs a rejig to be relevant according to the new normal now. Again, all those mass marketed approaches are going to always be mistimed, irrelevant, and ineffective for majority of the customers because they simply fail to take an account of the now factor on an individual level. What customers need and what they are failing to achieve are the triggers that should sit in the core of your effective communication strategy that you decide. Right? Moments matter the most, as we all know it. Being there with the right advice and the right guidance, not just next best offers or next best action or a product recommendation. It's always about how intimate you can get with your customer and kind of giving it to them when they really need it is where you will build that critical relationship with your customer and which will eventually benefit everyone. Right? And failing to do so will lead up to a lot of problems. Right? It will mean a lot of delays, irrelevance, annoyance, customer satisfaction is kind of damaged over the time, and valuable opportunities are missed out, and customers become that less loyal as a quality of experience kind of drags the relationship down. Now, these are certain areas where we feel really organizations need to step up and kind of change their strategies differently. Right? Now, if you look at some of the latest services, research data, or how people perceive customer experience, these are certain areas where we feel some focus areas from an industry perspective. Many organizations who are in pursuit of kind of attaining nirvana primarily focus on these four aspects of data collection, segmentation, identity resolution, or unification, and kind of activation of these journeys across different touch points. But the research says hardly around 60% are satisfied with the kind of MarTech they have invested in and to kind of deliver the true blue CDP experience. Right now, talking of CDP, in my view, it is one of the most abused words these days, which is perceived like a silver bullet, in the marketing realm. But I believe it is a very big step towards modern technology, serving varied use cases, but it is not the end goal, right? Unfortunately, it is kind of claimed by pretty much every MarTech vendor in this market these days. Right? At SAS, of course, we are a certified CDP vendor, certified by CDP Institute, and we do much more than what a traditional CDP is obviously supposed to do. But in my view, as I said, applicability of CDP changes from organization to organization. And if you can align CDP requirement towards your goal, and if it varies, drastically, from another organization, don't be surprised. Right? But as I said, it's a stepping stone for any kind of transformation if the marketing has to go through in the modern world. Moving on, another research shows a vast majority of customers, feel customer experience or the end consumer experience, what they experience through your brands across different touch points, is more important than the price they pay for the product. Right? And Forrester backs this really heavily. And this fact that the moment you move away from a campaign-based approach, traditionally push campaigns, inbound campaigns, but the agenda is to just reach out and show what you have to the customer. No, you need to look for journeys. You need to completely transform your strategy from a campaign-driven approach to a journey-driven approach, which will eventually have an outsized impact on the brand image and a lot of impact on the customer experience for more than half of the population. Actually, we feel this is going to be a game changer, right? It is high time marketers move away, as I said, from a typical traditional way of engaging with the customer and adopt more on a end customer, focused journeys across different touch points, right? Needless to say, of course, everyone understands the use of AI ML, but how beautifully or how seamlessly can you infuse that AI ML into your marketing practice will make a big difference into your outcomes. Right? Now, talking of some research data, basically it says the marketers must embrace a new mindset, right? To kind of proactively serve the customers in the most contextual relevant moment, right there, as I said, intimately with the customer. Real-time capabilities, again, make a big difference. You have to inculcate real-time capabilities into all your marketing practices, especially post-COVID. It becomes much more important, because you have a very small window of engaging with the customer and really getting that mind share for you to convert that customer and make that prospect your own customer, or, do a cross-sell, upsell on the existing customer. And eventually, take that conversation ahead and kind of make the customer profitable for your organization. Now, all these are modern day customer needs, but as we all know, data drives decisions and decisions drive value. Right? So marketers who leverage the power of analytics in kind of real-time decisioning are far ahead of their customer experience game and have that clear edge over the customer's competition. Now, coming to some strategies, in my experience, again, speaking to a lot of marketers, when we interact with them, people typically ask, Nirav, what is the best practice we should follow? What are those key things we should look for when we are transforming our people, process, technology end to end? Right? Now, we have had quite a few successes globally. The moment we have kind of transformed the organization across these parameters. Right? We need to partner with the right supplier, I would say, who brings that agility along with the years of global experience, who delivers a consistent value to your marketing function. Also, it is important to be flexible, to have that modular approach to kind of expand as you mature, and don't invest everything on day one. Buy a full MarTech stack without even using half of it. Doesn't make sense, right? So modular approach, flexible approach, and the agility which it brings in, find the right partner which can help you with that. Second, of course, we have seen marketers, try to juggle with different products. Again, eventually missing out on that holistic view of marketing, investing in different marketing technology with a very channel specific or a very siloed approach is not going to help you. Obviously, the best option is to kind of declutter and amalgamate all these capabilities from one single place if you can, right? Managing infra is again one big headache when it comes to such solutions and their multiple licenses which the organization has to manage. Look for software as a service based offerings, which give you all that freedom and the choice to kind of grow and pay as per your use. Obviously, move away from traditional data center based on-premise only kind of solutions. Adopt cloud, from a strategy perspective. Right? In today's world, again, we all want everything at a click of a button. Right. Again, Netflix and Ubers have spoiled us to the core. When we kind of, interact with our customers, we don't need those lethargic systems in place which can create that friction and delays the whole value delivery in your marketing function. The biggest bottleneck I've seen in marketers, when we interact with these marketing teams is that they face delay in kind of from a concept stage to a launch stage. They face so many delays, so many dependencies on different teams when they have to execute a marketing plan and make it a reality. Look for best-in-class latest offerings which can keep you, up the pace with the marketing vision that your company may have perceived. Right? Automation, of course, is the key. If you have not begun on that journey, kindly look for automation because, again, moving away from human interventions is going to be the key. Marketers have to be absolutely in your control without any need for technical expertise. We have so many times seen marketers really begging for data with the data team, waiting for insights to come in, even weeks after the data being ready, the interventions that they need from an analytics perspective or the real-time data that they need from IT perspective never comes to marketers, right? And then these dependencies really delay the show of marketing. Right? All these eventually help, in improving your marketing function as a whole, right? Also, marketers need not worry on the data security. Look for solutions that are secure from a privacy aspect, because if marketers start believing that this data movement to cloud and all these dependencies on a security perspective or an IT perspective, they're all going to limit your data movement and eventually pull the brakes and kind of your outcomes are impacted. Right? So look for technologies which will kind of give you that peace of mind to deliver what you wanted to do. Now let's talk about what key capabilities you need to look for from a technology viewpoint, right, for this particular transformation. You've seen many organizations taking steps towards a transformation with the core technology being, as a culprit, right? And you need to transform this very, very drastically. Now, a lot of organizations need to kind of stitch all these capabilities in one single place, right? For example, marketing data management becomes one stepping stone or the fundamental capability that allow organizations to kind of seamlessly enhance and extend the customer data beyond typical traditional customer data platform capabilities, and also which kind of includes capabilities around data quality, real-time identity stitching, resolution, and advanced segmentation, etc. Right? So this becomes a fundamental stepping stone for the transformation to begin with, right? Talking of the second capability, which in my experience has worked really wonders for marketers, is marketing planning capabilities. Now, this enables brands to accelerate, automate, and kind of streamline all their marketing activities from one single place. For that entire planning, budgeting management, their expense management, and kind of bring that optimal accountability when it comes to finding a profitable campaign or a strategy. Now look out for such powerful marketing resource management capabilities in a MarTech stack whenever you kind of invest into one, right? One of the other important capabilities is about how well you stitch the digital world and the direct world of marketing. Right? Many times we have seen organizations investing in a digital marketing tool and a traditional campaign management tool or a marketing automation tool. And the unfortunate thing is they don't talk to each other. Now look for architecture which are hybrid in nature, which can really kind of stitch this both worlds together and give you that real-time hyper-personalized based use cases, by consuming these real-time events, digital behavior of customers attributes residing in your data warehouse, and even your analytical insights, bring all this data together and then being able to do this without even worrying about the data movements across or uploading any data onto an OEM marketing cloud, right? These are certain capabilities which will really give you that cutting edge when it comes to your strategies. Other piece, the customer activation focuses, purely on creating these personalized customer journeys that boost revenue rates and kind of generate the profitable leads for you, right? You need to build a really robust and a well-rounded omni-channel customer experience. Don't go for channel-specific investments on MarTech, right? You look for a more holistic approach rather than a very, very focused point solutions. Extending marketing impact, in terms of integrating with third party, right, for a broader brand experience, through different functions, suppliers or vendors, right, or different stakeholders for that matter. It's an API era that we live in, right? And technology should kind of offer you to connect to pretty much every other information system that is out there and kind of flow this information to and fro very seamlessly through different APIs and integrate with these third-party systems to kind of expand your marketing strategies, right? Last but not the least, again, embedded customer analytics means that organizations can have faster and out-of-the-box insights driven by AI ML capabilities, which they are baked into the tools. Right now, this also allows you a lot of flexible testing, experimentation, sandboxing for marketers to kind of test their hypothesis before they go live or completely go on board onto your entire customer base. Now, in my experience, what we have seen is, again, these capabilities are differently positioned, are different products altogether, are primarily disjointed, and these are different stacks in itself, right? Now, if they work in silos and if marketers have to kind of take benefit of a true omni-channel customer experience strategy, it would be a nightmare for marketers to kind of stitch all of this together and expect that the data would flow seamlessly between all of this, right? And this eventually kind of drags their strategies down. Now, if the data doesn't move freely, if the data isn't available at time when marketers need the most, eventually it will all cause delay, inferior results, risks about data movement, costs and time and efforts from an IT perspective, which really kind of, is a big detrimental point towards your marketing transformation programs, right? Now, modern day marketers need a very, very sophisticated marketing platforms, which can help you kind of join all of these capabilities and build it like a DNA into the system, where you can run the show from a monolithic fabric, if I may use that word, and have a one single suite of MarTech who can allow you all these capabilities and still kind of orchestrate this entire museum of technologies together from one single place with a peace of your mind, right? So moving on, as I said, wherever you are, in terms of your marketing maturity curve, at a start level, typical MarTech or vendors or organizations would come and need to establish this starting point, right, where they need to kind of discuss with you, build a joint roadmap together to kind of move you towards your desired end goal, right? So for a clear direction, typically this starts with an assessment where a MarTech vendor comes, as I said, does that fit gap analysis, understands your clear vision, understands your current MarTech investments and the incumbent technologies which are present there, to kind of define a well-designed, outcome-based recommendation, which can then lead you towards that desired end state. Now, more on this on my subsequent slide. But post this assessment, typically, we have seen either you will fall into these three categories. Either you are completely fresh to this as a greenfield customer, you are completely new and you are looking for guidance from a MarTech vendor basis their experience. You want them to kind of help you build your strategies from grounds up. Or you are a midway customer, you're already experienced, you kind of burnt your hands by deploying certain products in the past, and you're kind of now realizing these are not enough for your modern day needs. And then eventually, MarTech vendors can come up and kind of help you modernize this existing capability which you may have. Or you could either fall in your matured category where customers have already kind of done fair bit of marketing practices, but they realize there are a few gaps or there are a few capabilities which can be enhanced using a new set of MarTech which can work on top or coexist with the existing MarTech. Now, all of this, primarily the outcome would be a definition of a quick win phase, which a MarTech can come and recommend to you. Now, these are nothing but initial level, high value, use cases which can be delivered in a very quick substance, in a very quick manner in terms of giving you that jump start to kind of deliver your value at a very early stage of your investments, right? Now, coming back to assessment, I'll encourage you to really go and try this out. This is our Discover Your Marketing Quotient portal that SAS has developed. It's a very good portal where you can get started and kind of discover what kind of marketing confidence you have from different strategies that you may already have in place or a vision that you carry today. Now, this can be a good starting point, as I said, to analyze, reflect, and plan your transformation goal going forward. You can scan this QR code to get started. I'll take a pause of like 5 to 10 seconds here so that you can scan this before I move to my last slide. Okay, now globally we have seen so many transformational projects happening across different industries, and we have seen this marketing transformation really help organizations to kind of achieve these business KPIs across different industries. And these are purely basis some basic level changes of their skill set, their transformation in terms of their technology, people, processes across the board. If the marketers are ready to kind of transform and make the right investments in that cutting edge technologies, I think we have been able to kind of get tremendous amount of business impact across different business KPIs, as you may see here. Right now, we have seen, as I said, SaaS being a global leader and a well-established player in the space of marketing. We have seen these industries and the number of impact which you see as part of the KPIs are concerned. There are phenomenal transformational changes that a marketing can bring to an entire organization. Right. So to summarize, there are still organizations which see marketing as a cost center rather than a revenue center. However, this perception has to change and is changing for good, right? To kind of shift these organizations like a measurable revenue, result-driven marketing campaigns, coming from your marketing departments, right? So first thing first, put the right people and technology in place if you haven't already done so. Marketing needs to see itself as a revenue center. If it doesn't, nobody else will. Right. With that, I want to end my presentation here. Thank you all for your time. If you have any questions or feedback, here are my coordinates. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to engage with you. Thank you.